You're listening to the Lux Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should be living their best life, their Lux Life. The show is hosted by Rick Steiner with Steiner Event Group, a premier national event planning company, and co-hosted by Shannon Richmond, the Vice President of the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notifications of future episodes. The show is produced by 30A Media and is broadcast on your favorite podcast outlets, as well as YouTube, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TVs, and other major brand smart TVs.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome to Lux Life Discovered. My guest today is Troy Curtis with Troy Curtis Entertainment. So, Troy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Rick. Happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. I tell you what, we followed each other on Instagram for some time now, and I'm always impressed with all that you bring to the table. So kind of give us a background of who Troy Curtis is.
Well, thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate that we follow each other on Instagram. I follow you as well, of course, and I love your work and what you're doing as well. So my career in the music business goes back about 20 years. So I was in the Latin boy band Menudo. This is the band that Ricky Martin came from when he was a kid. Right. So I was a child star, I was one of the lead singers in that band, and we toured all over the world, from LA to Hong Kong and all of South and Central America. And we had a #1 hit record called Te Quiso Olvidar. We shot the music video Venezuela. And my first time in front of the audience was about 30,000 people in Puerto Rico. I will never forget that performance. It was scary.
How old were you?
Menudo. Yeah. So I started off in the group when I was about 19 years old.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So 30,000 people, were you prepared for it, or did it just totally overwhelm you?
Yeah. So I was definitely overwhelmed, and I was definitely prepared. In that group, we did rehearsals for about 6 to 10 months. There's about 6 months of dance rehearsals and learning music, and then about the extent of that. So choreography, singing, but the whole process was about 10 months where we recorded the music. So we worked with some of the hottest producers, Desmond Child, Rudy Perez. Desmond wrote Living La Vida Loca. He wrote all of Bon Jovi songs. Desmond is the producer who actually discovered me. So when I was 17, I moved to Miami from, I was born in Connecticut, and I moved to Miami to pursue my music career as a solo artist. And that's where I met Desmond Child. And he mentored me, and he gave me the opportunity to sing background vocals for Ricky Martin. This is when Ricky was huge. This is when he was doing Living La Vida Loca and The Cup of Life. This was, I think, 2000, 1999. It was like, around that time. And then I ended up doing a song called Ay, 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 It's Christmas. My first time in the studio. I did backgrounds for Ricky Martin. And Desmond later on said, "Hey, Troy, there's a great audition for this group called MDO, which is formerly known as Menudo." So we were the older generation. They hired me for the crossover. So when NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were really big, they hired me for that time in the group. We ended up, touring. We did shows with Backstreet Boys. We did shows with Christina Aguilera. We did shows with Celia Cruz, some big stars. And yeah, to kind of get back to your question, I was very intimidated. It was very scary. The guys were in the group for about 10 years before I was. So I was, the rookie of the group. But that really defined me and really was a turning point in my work ethic, where I said, you know what, I'm going to work harder than anybody. I'll be the first to show up and the last to leave, because I cannot fail. And if I don't work this hard, because I'm so behind, these guys have been in the group for 10 years already, this could happen. I potentially could hit rock bottom. So I said, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna hone in and work very hard.
So how did the other guys take it, having the new guy with so much enthusiasm and willing to put so much effort into it?
They teased me, they was, like, you're the new guy, you're the freshman, and you're hanging out with the seniors,
He'll get over it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of that, there was a lot of like in band, pranks and stuff, but they respected the hustle. They respected my drive and, they really, they're, till this day, we're still in communication.
Well, good, good. Well, I tell you what, and then to be background singer for Ricky Martin when he was at his height, I mean, that's insane as well.
Yeah, that was a really, insane opportunity. And I remember I always kept it cool, like with Desmond Child. I always kept it really, not, here's my demo, listen to my music. When he gave me the opportunity to sing backgrounds for Ricky, it was more like, okay, cool. Thanks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no problem. So it's very, I always kind of like, played it cool. You never want to like, seem you know,
Too
too
over anxious, right,
excited,
right.
I don't know. I was young back then, now I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna I love life. I'm excited. I'm just gonna be excited whether you like it or not. It's like, but I was young back then, and what do you know?
So then after the band, you were in the band for how long? And
Yeah, I was in the
then,
band for a little over a year. It was nonstop shows and tours. It was, my life was on the road, radio interviews, TV interviews, touring, fan luncheons, recording, just nonstop, for I would say at least maybe 18 months or so. I was in a group, so I'm about 2 years with recording and everything. And then after the group, I said to myself, you know what? I want to, I said to myself, maybe I'll follow like Ricky Martin's footsteps, after Menudo, he was an actor, he was on a soap opera. So I said, you know what? I'm going to move to New York and I'm going to be on a soap opera. I said, and I literally said that to myself, and that was my focus. And he was on, he was on General Hospital, and I landed a role on Guiding Light. So when I moved to New York, I started taking dance classes, and I'm like coming off tour. I'm thinking I'm like, really, really, really great. And I took dance classes at Broadway Dance Center in New York City with some of the best dancers. And it was like I had two left feet. I was like, I need training. Like I suck completely, So I just started studying at Broadway Dance Center and taking a lot of classes. And then, I went on one of my first auditions, which was for Guiding Light, and they were looking for, someone who can sing and act, and it was just perfect. I went there with my guitar, sang some songs. I was taking some acting classes, and I'll never forget this. When I got the call back, there was a piece of tape, white tape, on one of the lead actor's doors. And I went there and I wrote my name on it. And I said, this is my door, Troy Curtis. I wrote it, and I would visualize being on set, and I would see the lights and the camera, and I would just, as I was getting the call back, I would go over my lines, but I would not just practice it with my coach, I would visualize being on set. And I'll never forget, I opened my eyes and I was on set, and I was in that couch that I visualized, and the lights and the camera, and I said, oh my goodness, like I visualized this. I really manifested this in my life. And they booked me. They booked me. It was originally going to be just a recurring role, which is a role that happens every so often.
right.
But they liked me, and they gave me a contract, which was a guarantee. So my contract was a guarantee for 3 episodes a week at a minimum. And I ended up writing the music for the show, um, singing on the show, acting on the show. It was a dream role.
Interesting. So from the band to soap opera, and then what happened after that? Because that's pretty interesting. How was it to go from like the stage of like 30,000 to being on set? Was that
Yeah,
that had to be an adjustment?
yeah, that's definitely a good question. Definitely an adjustment. Definitely two different art forms of art,
Right.
right? Being on stage, singing and dancing is definitely different than learning lines, honing in the emotion, and having a conversation with someone next to you in an authentic way. I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with acting, I think, because of um, the it was almost like therapy for me, being able to like be in class and being able to like touch my emotions and be vulnerable and being able to cry or to scream or to just to be able to have that okay, it's okay. You can just do whatever you want. There's no rules here, there's no boundaries. You can just be. So I really fell in love with the art of acting. Um and yeah, so there are two different art forms for sure.
Which do you like the best?
That's a good question. I love, I love acting. I always said to myself, I said, I'm going to build an entertainment company. I said, I'm going to build a company where I'm at a place where, um, I could take care of my family. The finances are consistent, things are coming in, and then I will get back into acting. I will get into films and prime time and a prime time show. I did daytime, I said prime time. And that 10 years is about right now. you know, like that 10-year mark is has approached, right? It has approached. So we will see where the stars align. Maybe Broadway, maybe I'll go on an audition. I mean, I was very fortunate as a kid, where I landed my first auditions, which was a blessing and a curse, because after Guiding Light, I started auditioning for other things, and they were like, no, no, oh, he's green. I'm like, green? I just came off a TV show. Like, what do you mean? I didn't realize that most actors, almost all actors, have to audition at least a dozen to 100 to maybe 1,000 times before they get the yes.
And they hear a lot of no's. Yeah.
You hear a lot of
Yeah.
no's. So, I wasn't really prepared for the no's. I didn't really have a good manager at the time that was like, hey, this is part of the process. Just keep going. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to create my own work. I'm not going to allow anyone to tell me yes or no. I will be the one telling people yes or no. So that's when I created my entertainment company. I was at Broadway Dance Center, and I met a dancer, and he said, I'm going to dance at a party. I'm like, what do you mean to dance at a party? He goes, yeah, there's like, these on the weekends we do these bar mitzvahs. We dance at parties. I'm like, that sounds like really fun. Like, I'll go for free. Like I want to just go and dance. He's like, come on. So I went there, and I'm like, this is great. And, like I started like just, dancing with the company. And then I saw the MC, and I'm like, I can do that. Then I started MCing, and then I saw the business owner. I'm like, I can do that. And then I found a DJ and a violinist. And I started putting groups together and acts together. And then at a party, I met Colin Cowie, who, has done everything from Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's, recent wedding to, Oprah and Ryan Seacrest, and just the list goes on and on. And Colin's like, I'm going to give you a platform. You're super talented. He saw me emceeing at an event. And the first event that I curated the entertainment for, stepping off stage and being behind the scenes, was for Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphrey at Capital. When they got married, they had their first party here in the city. And Colin said, okay, here is Capital. We're not going to do tables. It's going to be all standing. What would you do? What would you think about getting creative? And I said, well, the first thing I would do is I would have an aerialist hanging from the middle of the room. So when guests come in, swinging around the room. And then he's like, okay, that's great. He goes, how about we dress them up in La Perla? I'm like, okay. So I went to La Perla on Madison. And I said, I'm doing a party for Kim Kardashian. Can you sponsor me? I want to dress up all the artists in like sexy lingerie, make it really sexy but classy. And they did. They sponsored it. And that's what we did. We had the electric violinist, and this was the electric violinist before the electric violinist was a thing, right? So like, I don't want to say I pioneered it, but I pioneered it. And so we had the DJ, the electric violinist, the percussionist. I emceed. We had the aerialist. It was a story. So the female aerialist, she was dressed up in white, like a bride. And then we had the groom on stilts. We had Shirley Bassey playing "Where Do I Begin?" The smoke was coming out from the low-hanging fog was coming out. And this was when Kim Kardashian came in. So this was her entrance to the rooms. This was her grand entrance. And then the aerialist spun out of her lyra and was caught by her groom on stilts and was whipped away. And then the party began. So that was my first introduction to curating events, entertainment.
What a way to start. Yeah.
What a way to start.
No pressure or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was her response? You had to be
she
pleased.
loved it. Like it was an amazing party. The party rocked. And then we had these choreographed dances that came out, and it was just like we had these vignettes of moments. So she was great. She was very grateful and very gracious. And, she's a very humble person, and it was just a wonderful experience. And that just led to more and more events with Colin. I had the opportunity to do Oprah Winfrey, twice. She called me back. I'll never forget it. When I came on stage the second time, she goes, "I remember you. Welcome back." Quincy Jones and all these stars like John
Right.
Legend are in the audience. I'm like, okay, here we go. I did Ryan Seacrest's 40th birthday with Colin. Yeah, I mean, it was really just that really launched my entertainment company.
Well, good. And with your entertainment company, you're able to bring all of your talents together and really express yourself in so many different ways. That has allowed you to keep growing in what you're doing.
Yes, yes. I'm so grateful. I'm really surrounded by amazing artists and amazing talent. And, when I started my business, I started it with the mission statement of employing my community, employing my fellow artists, right? So they can follow their dreams and they can live their dreams and they can have the finances to, study their art and record. And that is till this day, my responsibility. It's my responsibility to make sure that my community of artists and musicians and performers have an income, right? And that, that mindset has really gone from the electric violinist and DJ to over, hundreds of artists around the United States and UK, right? Everything from singers to dancers to rhythm sections, horns to strings, and we just curate and we put our artists together in different configurations, and we really customize our events depending on what our clients want, whether it's corporate, whether it's social, whether it's a wedding, and we our clients really enjoy that, right? So it's not nothing's cookie cutter, right?
Right. And the custom piece is what everybody is after right now
Oh
because
yeah.
no one wants to repeat what somebody's done. And I know I don't like to do events for people and just duplicate what was done at, 6 months ago. Somebody wants the same thing. I want to know their personality. What do they want to bring to the table? That type thing. Because the
Yeah.
worst thing somebody can tell me is like, "Oh, you do a great job. Just do it the way you think best." Well, it's not my event. I mean, I'm doing it, but it's for you. What are your likes and dislikes? So,
Right.
and with you, you bring the. I mean, you actually do still perform at the events as well as bringing other people in. But you're just enjoying that as much as anything else still.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When I first started my business, I stepped off the stage and I just curated, I just produced. And there was a moment where I was like, kind of like, man, I really want to be up there. I really want to be up there. And then I'm like, I know but I have to be the businessman. I can't be on stage. And I found that balance where I can be on stage, and now I have multiple acts that go out, in multiple states, in cities. So I've been able to really find that balance and create the systems and processes in my organization where it's scalable, it's consistent, and it's customizable, right? So I've really hit that point. So now it's a choice now. Do I want to perform, or just be a little bit more behind scenes? And actually recently, I've decided I'm just gonna be a super high ticket offer, and people who want to invest and they want the Troy Curtis Orchestra, great. It's 50,000 plus, for the Troy Curtis Orchestra, and those who don't, that's cool. We have other options,
Right.
but I'm just not going out for, for anything less. But we have Party in the City, we have the hybrid band, we have the Symphonic Angels. So we have different offerings for people that range, anywhere from 5,000 and up. So we have something for everyone, customizable, really, or a really great experience, great talent. And yeah, it's very exciting times.
And then you travel all over the U.S. and internationally, right?
That's right. Yep, all over the U.S. and internationally. We have musicians, we have sound production, we have on-site producers in New York, Miami, Texas, LA, and Chicago. So I'm really able to give the clients the best value where they get that New York continuous music, amazing sound, and we only have to fly in certain musicians, right? So, and I do that a lot. I fly in all of my players in different states. They have performed together one way or another, especially my singers, right? So my singers in LA will be hanging out with my singers in New York. And then when we have destination, I'll bring some of my singers from Texas, New York, and LA. And they're like, hey, so it's like a reunion, right? And that's the key. The key is consistency, and just having fun. Fun. When the band's having fun, when the musicians are having fun, when the performers are having fun, the guests are having fun.
Right. Then the client's happy and everyone's having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
what is your one of your favorite events that you've done, maybe that caught you by surprise? Like
Yeah.
I know we've had, you look forward to some big things and then you do them and you're like, that was nice. But then sometimes it's some other unexpected events that I've done that have been like, that may have been one of my favorite that I've done. Has there been one like that for you?
Yeah, I really enjoy destination events, not just for the travel, but just for the challenge of, because you have to work with local vendors, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to, like, you're not going to fly in your sound team. You're flying your sound engineer, but you're not flying in the gear, so I really enjoy destinations because it's a little bit more. You have to dig a little bit deeper. You have to ask the right questions. You have to go a little bit earlier. You have to test out everything the night before. You have to bring backup. When we do destination, we bring certain backup gear. Like, I'll always bring an extra DJ booth, fly it in. Like, I'll always bring, some extra microphones just in case, because
Yeah.
when you're doing destination events, especially on the islands, the ocean salt affects the gear. So you always want to be prepared. So I always, suggest that, to any entertainment companies or any bands who are traveling destination, make sure that you bring some of your own backup gear, especially the gear that you can travel with, right? You're not going to bring the speakers, but
Right.
bring some extra wires, bring some extra mics, bring an extra, portable DJ booth. Just look out and bring some extra gear. So those are, I really enjoy destination events a lot.
Okay, good. Well, so what we talked about maybe another role on a show or what else is on the horizon for you? Because I mean, you have conquered so much already and have such a successful company. What else is there to accomplish for you?
Thank you. That's very kind. Um, yeah, there's so much more, there's so much more in store. Definitely focusing on scaling out TCE. Definitely focusing on having, our multiple bands in multiple cities, working consistently, partnering up with band leaders within our organization, giving them an opportunity to be, to know what it's like to own a business. I think the next is coaching, and sharing the knowledge that I've acquired, and mentoring. I have been blessed with mentors, and it's my turn and an opportunity to give that back. So definitely looking for, the right people and musicians and performers who are looking to build a business and build it. And my next thing is really mentoring and sharing and teaching how to do so. And so, everyone, it's a win-win situation.
Okay, and then how far in advance are you normally booked? Like if someone wanted to reach out to you, what should their time frame be?
Yeah, so the sooner the better. We're booking up. The sooner the better for sure. So we're getting calls for 2025, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I get some calls for, like, I just got a call to be in Utah like next Wednesday. Are you available? Wednesday we happen to be available. So, so you never know, next month, so in a
Right.
month. So it really ranges. That it really ranges
And it
on
depends
when
on
people
what
are
they're
calling.
needing to it also. Yeah.
Exactly. So the wonderful thing Party in the City is our main brand, and the hybrid band. Party in the City is your four singers, rhythm section, horns, doing all the songs, 70s, 80s, 90s, top 40, everything people know and love, continuous music. So Party in the City is the brand. You have your different styles of singers, dressed in like Vogue, couture, really dressed well, singing amazing. So we have Party in the City locally. So that's the brand, right? So, and people trust the brand. So they're like, we want Party in the City. We've seen a Party in the City in New York. We want them in Miami. What does that look like? This is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. Great, let's book them. So that's our big focus. So that's very scalable, right? That's our scalable band. And then the hybrid band, which is trending. People are calling for it all the time. It's a combination of singers, horns, violins with synchronized backing tracks. that we've produced in-house. And this is really great for if there's a venue that's a little smaller. This is great for destination. This is also great for the bride or the corporate company that wants something more versatile, right? So you can do everything from, the 70s and 80s and the top 40 with singers, and then the DJ, can go on with the live musicians. Now it's very different than, what has been done in the past, where people just go and they play and they improvise. Everything's musical. So we have a system. Everything is musical with the hybrid band. People love it. It's it can range anywhere from 10,000 and up, depending on how big you want it. So it's affordable. And we wanted to create that. We wanted to create a package that is reachable to the masses. And then depending on how big you want to do it, and depending if you want to, include some performers, some dancers, you want to make it immersive, whatever it is, it can go from 10,000 to 50,000, right. Whatever, it is. And we're very transparent with our prices, like that's why I'm talking about it so openly.
Right.
Because, there's some companies who kind of play that game. Oh, we can get a little bit more here, there. No, these are the prices. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get an amazing product. If it works, great. If not, let us know. Maybe it's an off day. Maybe we can work with it,
Right.
but, super transparent with everything, when it comes to, pricing and product.
Yeah. Well, you're confident in what you bring to the table, and you're not trying to add prices later. You're just very transparent, and that's good.
Yeah. Super important. No one wants to be surprised with like an extra bill,
Oh yeah,
It's like,
definitely.
no one wants that.
All right, we're going to put all your contact information on the screen. So tell people how to reach out to you and where to find more about you.
Absolutely. So I would say first, check out our Instagram. It's Troy Curtis Live Entertainment. Follow us. We'll follow you back. DM us. We're definitely in our Instagram a lot. You can also reach out to our team, which is connect@troycurtisentertainment.com. You can also visit our website as well. And whatever you need, we're here for you. Even if even if you booked a band already and you just want to get some ideas, reach out to us. Happy to give some suggestions. I've been doing this a long time, and for me, it's just that people have great parties, and it's just a great opportunity for everyone.
Well, Troy, thank you so much for taking time to be with us today. I've enjoyed this very much, and we've talked on the phone in the past, and text back and forth through social media and that way. But it's good to actually visit with you like this. So I appreciate your time.
Rick, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Anything you need, let us know. We're here for you. We appreciate it.
And that concludes our episode of Lux Life Discovered. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and all major podcast platforms, as well as our own Lux Life Discovered channel on 30A TV. We'll see you next time on Lux Life Discovered.
Check out Lux Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30A.tv. See you next time on Lux Life Discovered.